So, after some slight technical difficulties, thank you very much for sticking with me there. Thank you, everybody who is live here on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. If you are listening on the Acts on This TV audio experience on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcast from, or you're watching the replay on YouTube, thank you so much for indeed being here. My name is Ross. We're talking all about all the exciting stuff that's happening on actonthis.tv this week, what happened last week, and what's coming up. Yeah, what's coming up like this week and next week as well. I'm going to be taking your questions for the next hour. We're just going to be chewing the fat about the acting industry and just sharing information, sharing knowledge, and helping you guys get further in your careers faster. Let me know. Thank you, Rosie, for sharing that. Let me know how your week has begun. I say this every week without fail. Probably I've done for the last 5 years, but it's a brand new week. Anything could happen this week. Always remember that in your acting career. You never know. Little bit of news on a personal level. Got some good news this morning. Those people who have been following this little story for the last 2 weeks, I had a little bit of a skin cancer type scare with a mole that looked dodgy a couple of weeks ago. I got rushed in, had it removed, got the biopsy back this morning, got the results back from the doctor. Jurassic Park, it was fine. It was all benign anyway. It just looked weird. So I went and had the stitches out this morning. Winner. But I cannot speak highly enough of the NHS. This is nothing to do with acting, but if you have anything remotely on your body, in your body, whatever, that is not normal, that you are like, I don't know if this is right or not, I cannot praise them highly enough, how amazing they are at dealing with that sort of stuff. Don't put it off. Don't convince yourself that it's all right if you don't think it is. Go and get it checked, because I had it all sorted in less than, really a week, to be honest. I only went to my GP on the Monday, and then I had it excised. Basically had it cut off me on the Thursday. 10 days later, all is good in the world, and I can put that behind me. So, thanks to anyone who works in the NHS. You're all legends, absolute angels. But if you, if you notice anything yourself on your own body that you don't think is quite right, please go and get it seen. It's go and get it seen. Go and get it seen, because it's amazing. There are just and our NHS is just freaking amazing. Right, okay. So tonight, what I want to talk about. Firstly, I want to recap on our member-only mastermind that we held with Fraser Ayres last week. Let me know if you were in the house for that. If you don't know what we do on actonthis.tv, I sit down every single week with one of the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, producers in the TV industry. We hold a closed-door mastermind session. We basically chew the fat on what it takes to get in front of that casting director, work with that director, sign with that agent, how actors have gone on to achieve incredible things, so we can reverse engineer that success and put it into our own careers as well. And we had Fraser Ayres, just a super successful guy, the co-founder of Triforce Creative Network, him and Jimmy Akambola, great actor who you will have seen playing Valentine in Idris Elba's In the Long Run recently. They set that company up 20 years ago, ultimately to just bring more of a diverse audience into the acting industry, sort of represent underrepresented categories of actors within the industry, make it more accessible for people regardless of their financial background, etc. And these boys have just gone on and on and on to build this incredible network to the point where now they run their own production company. They've got a network basically of 60,000 actors and creatives across the globe as part of Triforce Creative Network, and they just had their first commission for ITV, a brand new show that starts tomorrow night called Sorry I Didn't Know, a comedy panel show hosted by Jimmy, written by Fraser, executive produced by Fraser. And we had Fraser on last week talking about how actors really should be taking control of their own career by producing their own content, writing their own content. It was one of the most inspiring conversations I think we've had on actonthis.tv in the last decade. It's got to be in my top 5 of favourite interviews. It inspired me to phone my brother the day after to start writing a project that we've both been talking about doing for the last 10 years that we just haven't done. And I'm like, now is time. So I'm going to play some of the clips from that. If you want to watch the full thing, it's a full 2-hour replay. If you go over to actonthis.tv, you can watch a little preview of it here. This is it, how to get your TV script commissioned with actor-writer Fraser Ayres. You can watch a little, 2-minute trailer of it there. Get your membership if you want to get access to the full thing and you want to join us every single week for one of these closed-door mastermind sessions. Members, you'll find it in your members area right away. It's already there. Don't go now, though. Watch it after this. Please don't leave me. You'll find there it is at our latest 5 features. You'll find it right at the top, how to get your TV script commissioned with actor-writer Fraser Ayres. You can watch the video or you can listen to the podcast version there. But here is a little clip of what you missed. In fact, you know what? No, I'm not going to start with the usual mashup. I normally show you like the preview clip of like little bits of it all. I'm going to dive straight into the content tonight. I'm actually going to show you a 2-minute clip of a section of that interview that we were talking about, of like how Fraser used to write stuff and how Fraser writes stuff today in terms of the way that he structures how he writes a project. Because if you're anything like me and you're anything like he was, when you are writing your own projects, and let me know, please, in the comments now on Facebook if you are writing your own thing or you've got an idea in your head and you want to know how to get this out there and, you know, get it commissioned potentially. If you're anything like me, you'll just want to go hell for leather and you just start going, start writing it down without kind of planning necessarily and structuring stuff. So if you just sort of get stuck into it, you're more likely to hit a brick wall at some stage, and then it's a lot harder to maneuver those scenes around, etc. Before you start writing anything, here's a little bit of advice from Fraser about how you can and how he does that now, how he structures his project. So let's check this out.
There's an interesting thing. So the way I write scripts now is not how I wrote scripts 15 years ago in any way, shape or form. I wrote the original Maynard like, ha ha ha, oh, like that. Now what I do is I do a scene by scene, I break it down, I make sure that the engine works, I make sure the scenes work. And then what happens is I literally knock out the script because I've already done all the work.
Right, okay.
That can be a bit much for a lot of people. So, don't feel like you have to do that. But one of the things that does is if it works before you've written it down. Because what can happen is once you've got that 30 pages or that 55 pages down on paper, what can tend to happen is when someone like me comes along and goes, I love your idea, but I need to change this, and this. It can be really, really tough. It's so fixed in your head. So if you can work it out properly before you do that, then you already know what can be changed, what needs to be developed. And when you read it back, you have an extra level of objectivity with it. And you can actually look at it like a script editor going, do you know what? I wouldn't want to be in this as an actor. Okay, I need to go back and do that. And you can have that distance with it. So the third thing is formalizing it. That's what it needs to do. And what I would suggest is that you write a little 2-pager, 3-pager pitch.
Yeah.
See if the story works, because that's what it's all about. There is always aliens, there is always the Crusades, there is always these things, but unless you've got an interesting story about aliens or an interesting story about the Crusades, you don't actually have anything. So now you will have something on paper in that treatment, that 2 pages, which you go, I can see the world, I can see the people, and most importantly, I know the story.
Yeah.
And then you have a project.
So there is just a 2-minute clip of what was a 2-hour mastermind session with Fraser. And also, just to let you guys know, if you do have ideas for things right now, one of the initiatives that Triforce Creative Network, which Fraser co-founded, one thing that they offer is something called Writers Slam, which is right now, as far as I believe, it's in partnership with Amazon Prime. So how that works is all they require of you to begin with is a 2-page treatment, I think, and 15 pages of script. So ultimately a synopsis and just the first 15 pages of a script, which you can honestly knock out in, if you've got the idea there. 15 pages, most people could knock that out in a day, to a decent standard if you've already formulated that idea. But like Fraser said there, you've got to structure, you've got to structure things so that you don't hit those walls and then you've got to kind of like start all over. But I'd be super interested to know who is looking at writing their own thing like right now in our community, and what that is. Obviously don't spill the beans on actually exactly what it is, but what is it? Is it a drama? Is it a comedy? Is it a bit of both? Is it a web series, a TV series, a film, radio play, maybe a theatre show? Anything like that. I just want to know what people are up to, because it's exactly what I've started this week. Like I say, with my brother, talking about, we've been talking about the project for as long as I can remember. Like, it's got to be 10 years. And now's the time to do it. It's worked out perfectly, actually. My brother's just been made redundant from his job, so he's had a nice payout, and now he's just got to, get a new job, but he's got a bit of time on his hands. And I'm just going to make time. I don't have any time, but I'm just going to make time to make it happen. But it is it's something that I just really want to do. I don't want to wait anymore to just be in other people's things. Yes, I enjoy that. That's great. But I don't think there's anything better than just being in charge of your own destiny and going, right, I'm gonna do this myself. Why can't I? Is there someone out there, who has done what I want to do, and do they look and sound a bit like me? Yeah, I can probably do it then. And I'm not underestimating it. To be an incredible writer is very difficult and takes people years and years and years. But it doesn't mean that you can't have a go at that. I have a short film almost finished writing. All right, Dale, how you doing, mate? A few tweaks and key points to try and get my head around, but it's a script I'm proud of and connected with, so I'm sure it will click into place so I can finish it. Yeah, it's all about sort of following through in it, innit? I think sometimes, again, and this is what I'm waiting for when I've started out on this project, super enthusiastic. Me and my brother are having 2 or 3 calls a day. He's sending me pages over. I'm editing them, sending them back. You've got that momentum and all of that kind of, enthusiasm for it, like anything, like when you first start in the gym, etc. And then inevitably you're going to hit, regardless of how well you structure it and plan it beforehand, you're going to hit a brick wall, aren't you, at some point? That is just life. And it's at those moments where you're like, right, okay, do I have the stamina, to kind of like push through that and actually figure it out, particularly if it means dismantling. This is the hardest part. It's a bit like Lego when I was a kid. Do you ever remember making a Lego thing when you were a kid and you'd get almost to the end, you have like a bit missing? And to put that bit in, you'd have to go back. You have to take apart like a quarter of it or something like that. Because you're like, shit, I just missed that out. Now this last bit doesn't fit in place or whatever. I feel that script writing can be quite like that. You get to a point, you go, oh, this isn't kind of working. I've got this bit left over I need to squeeze in, but I can't put it in unless I dismantle like maybe a quarter of what I've already done. And that can feel a bit soul destroying because you're like, shit, I was almost there. Now I've got to take it apart. That's life, innit? I think that's just life. But that's, it's moments like that where you end up with a script not finished. And you go, oh, I'll put it on the back burner, I'll come back to it, and you never do. I've done that. I've done that with I've done that with something for like 6 years. So yeah, I think you've got to push through on moments like that. Even everyone says, Nicola, all right, Nicola, I'm listening along as I climb up shelves in a bloody storeroom. I was made small for a reason, not to go up to talk. Do you mean tall places? Have a lovely night, Nicola. Where are you working? In the stock room. What have you got in the stock room? Anything good? What's happening? Are we getting any discounts on stuff or what? Eloise says, I'm loving it. Mine is a dark comedy. I also have another one up my sleeve, but I haven't started it yet. Focus on the first one. Yeah, I think like definitely finish the first one, Eloise. You've been working on this for a long time. I know particularly about your situation. So yeah, let's get this smashed out. Let's have a look. So Emmanuel says, relocated from Huddersfield to Grenada to do it. What's that? What are you shooting? I must have missed your first comment. Oh, I mean, that's dedication for you, isn't it? Definitely. That's interesting, man. I'm currently writing, D says, I'm currently writing a short film. It's a romance. It seemed ready in my head, but writing it proved a little difficult. I believe in it, so we'll make the puzzles fit. What do I do with it once I'm done? Well, you want to go and listen to this mastermind or watch this mastermind that we had with Fraser Ayres last week, because we kind of go into details of that. I don't think I've got a clip of that lined up for tonight, but you can if you go to actonthis.tv, grab yourself a membership. You can get access to the recording of that, and we do talk about that because we talk about like getting in front of Netflix, BBC, ITV, Amazon. Fraser's just had his show commissioned by ITV, so he kind of talks us a little bit through that. The next thing we're going to play, though, is about, about, what does he call it? He calls it poking your idea. In terms of when you have an idea for something, Fraser was like, right, chances are, like, someone else is going to have had that idea already. So there's a few things you can do to, massage that idea to make sure that, it's the best idea or the best version of that idea. Here's his points on that. If you're like, I've got this idea, but maybe someone else has already beat you to it, how you can kind of make sure that yours is different enough or, ideally better than. So check this out.
I've got an idea, Ross has got an idea, and the beautiful 60 people who are listening to this, you've all got ideas, okay?
Yep.
They're going to overlap. They're already going to exist. They're already going to... So you want to poke it. So take your idea, write it down, and just poke it and go, okay, who would watch this? Your brain's going to tell you everybody. Don't let it, right?
Yeah.
Ask yourself, what channel is this for? Your brain is also going to go, it could be anywhere.
How do you work that out?
So if your brain's saying it could be everywhere, then your idea isn't formed enough. okay? Because Channel 4 is fundamentally different to BBC, is fundamentally different to Netflix, is, okay?
Yeah.
So you want to look at your audience, and that's one of the things you can poke the idea with. Secondly, with the idea is just type into Google. Someone's probably done it.
Yeah.
Work out why yours is different, why yours is better, all of those things. What makes it authentic, what makes it true. There's an awful lot at the moment that, particularly with us all being more interested in each other's lives and worlds, that we want to explore them. Explore your world for now. Your story will always be the thing that will get it sold. So there's a million things you can do, how to learn how to pitch, how to present, how to get the context, all those things. But what I look for, what they are looking for, is your story. Because they want you to tell the story that only you can tell. They don't want Ross's story that I can tell. They want Ross's story that Ross can tell.
Yeah.
Now, there will be another 1,000 Rosses. So you got to make sure you're the best Ross of the Rosses, right? That's the whole point.
Yeah.
They want your story doing that. So do something that you care about and that it is about your world. And what you're doing is either letting it go and then moving on to other great ideas, or what you're doing is you're honing your idea and you're starting to form it like a diamond. You're cutting off like, oh, well, that doesn't work. No, it's not about that.
Again, actonthis.tv if you want to catch up on the full replay of that 2-hour chat with Fraser. So yeah, that's that little clip. Again, we spoke such length about this, but that was just like a pertinent moment for me to pull out, just around about like poking your ideas. And kind of like, formulating them before you dive into it and you write 60 pages of that script. I mean, he said something really simple there. It's like, just Google it. Like in terms of, if you've got an idea, just have a little Google and see if anybody else has come up with that already, because you will find, I mean, everything's a remix, isn't it? I think there's even a documentary at some point called Everything's a Remix, which just shows you like literally every song, every play, every film, every dance, everything is just a remix of something else. So chances are that, your idea, I don't know, maybe the 1 in 100 times you're like, actually, this has never been done before. This is completely new and this is breaking new ground. But I think a lot of the time it will be a bit of a remix of something else, even if that thing was like, 100 years ago. And obviously it will have been a little bit dated. But, it might have been a very, very similar kind of angle that they were going at. Just, poke it. What is it? What channel is it for today? Who's the audience you're writing for today? As opposed to, like you said, it's just for everybody. You would go, oh, I'll just sell it to any channel. Well, that's great, but if you're gonna like write with the end goal in mind, you can probably write it and tailor it to a particular, particular network, a particular channel. And we talk about that in depth actually in there. Something that Fraser calls that he gets from production companies and networks called the steers. In terms of they will have a slate. So Channel 4, ITV, BBC, whoever, Netflix, they will have a slate of things going, actually, you know what, we're looking for a program like this right now that fulfills this criteria right now, and your idea might not perfectly fit that, but you can, if you've not written the whole thing yet, kind of like massage that so it does fit into, into that brief, so that it's something that particular broadcaster wants to pick up, as opposed to try to be a jack of all trades and going, oh, I'll just sell this to anybody. So it's interesting, isn't it? It's fascinating, but I just can't tell you how inspired I was after the broadcast with Fraser. Awesome guy. Nicholas, this is great. He says, Ross, I set up a LinkedIn profile after you talked about it. I told you everyone should be on LinkedIn. If you're an actor and you're not on LinkedIn, or you're a writer or whatever, you're missing out. It's a big, big mistake. Put all my stuff on there. Within a week, I got contacted by a big London studio regarding the lead role in a big video game. Never would have thought LinkedIn would lead to acting work. Cheers. Just listen to me, man. Honestly, it does. Absolutely does. And a lot more than that as well. Just in terms of connections and professional connections in this industry. LinkedIn really is what Facebook was in like 2013, 2014, where everybody used it, as a kind of like as a place to meet other people. I think nowadays Facebook is a bit more, I don't know. I think the demographic on Facebook has changed. I think what you're posting, unless you pay to post on Facebook and you have Facebook ads, I think hardly the reach is like just you hardly hit anybody with your content. Whereas LinkedIn, the organic kind of reach of your posts is still one of the only platforms that you can post on, and hundreds of people will see your content for free, as opposed to having to pay for it on Facebook. And Facebook is still, ludicrously cheap if you do want to pay to run Facebook ads, etc. I think it's an incredible platform. I think it's very much aged up in terms of, I think the people on Facebook now are mostly 30 plus, whereas it used to just be college kids, obviously, back in the day. I think LinkedIn is, I don't know, LinkedIn's kind of around about that demographic as well. But it's the organic reach on it is so much better than Facebook, so you should be using LinkedIn definitely. And I'm glad you had that result, man. Keep us posted. I would love to do more video game stuff. I've only done a couple in my entire acting career. I did the Harry Potter games back in the day. That was like ages ago though, like PlayStation 3. I think like ages ago. I used to do Buzz, the quiz show. I used to be the announcer. Jason Donovan was the host of Buzz on PlayStation, if you remember that. And I used to ask the questions. You never got to see. I didn't have a character. I just read the questions. But Jason had the Buzz character that he was doing back in the day. Like I say, a bit of Harry Potter. But I've not done a computer game in quite a long time. So keep us posted on that. I've no idea how to use LinkedIn, says Chris. Do I follow people or do I add them? No clue on the courtesy. You have an option actually, but you can just add people to your network, mate, just like you would be friend requesting them. You can send a note with that if you want to make it personalized. You can see who they are connected with. You have like first degree connections, which would be if we were connected together. Then you get to see all of my connections, which would be your second degree connections, and then third degree, etc. It's just a really, really cool platform. And as a content distribution platform now as well, it's not just a Rolodex. It's not just a place you go to apply for jobs like you used to. It really does behave like Facebook used to behave before Facebook became so heavily predicated on paying for adverts. So check it. Honestly, just use it, Chris. Ultimately, you'll figure it out, mate. Use it. Link it with me. Look at the content I'm putting out, and just use it. Just use it. Basically. Right. What else is going on in the comments? Sorry, I've missed a load of comments here. What else is happening? What else? I had a terrible video game audition last week, says Amanda. Forget about it, Amanda. Move on. We'll get you a better audition. Right, next clip for those people who are looking to write their own projects. What am I going to... Oh, here. Do you know what? This is a really good point. This is a brilliant point Fraser makes. And we can all get enthusiastic and we can talk about our ideas and go and have a coffee as actors and bounce all these ideas around and go, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, oh, I'm working on this film, I'm doing that. Are you, though? Because until you actually begin working on it, it isn't real. Here's Fraser's take on that.
Write it down. It doesn't exist if it's not on paper or on your laptop or however you do it.
Yeah.
I use OneNote. Just it's free. And it basically gives you a whiteboard and it works like Word, so you can type things, but you can also draw in it, and also you can do multiple boxes and just move them around. So I use that for my scene by scenes as well. So I write my scenes up in the boxes and then I can just move the boxes around and they're there. Write it down, not only because it doesn't exist unless it's outside of yourself, but two, it actually changes your relationship with it.
Right.
It's a bit like, when you try and remember things that you got to do tomorrow.
Yep.
Right, and you try and remember them and they all just go to pot.
Yeah,
and
absolutely,
right.
Yes.
And then you write them down and you don't really need to look at the list. They're in there.
Yep.
It's because that act solidifies and creates an object in your mind. So that's why you have to do that with the thing. Just get it down. Write down this character does this scene, boom, 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 boom. And once you start to get that, that's when your project's really starting to come together. And then you start to notice what you're missing. You're like, oh, actually, I need more characters. Oh, actually, I need more locations. Your idea starts to fill out, and that's where it starts to become more robust.
actonthis.tv. Let's get your membership to access the full chat, but put your hand up if you're guilty of that. I definitely am. Talking about shit and not writing it down, not actually taking action on it, just having these lovely ideas in my head as something that I will get around to doing at some point. Until you write it down, whether that's on paper with your fair hands or type it on a computer, it does not exist, okay? And you don't, as we said last week, you don't be taking this stuff to your grave. Like, that was a thing, honestly, like, it sounds so melodramatic, but this whole health thing that I had over the last 2 weeks and getting the all clear on it, and then the gratitude that fills you with, and the almost kind of dread of going, shit, I would have had the regret of not doing this thing that I've been speaking about for 10 years, had that gone bad, and that was it. It's put like a rocket up my backside to go, you need to do this now. And I don't want everyone here to have to go through a bit of a dodgy health scare in order to actually take action. But that's obviously like life dishing that out to me, going, right, dickhead, stop talking about this, start doing it. We'll give you a little scare. Now that should hopefully motivate you to go out there and get it done. So I have started writing it down this week. I also think, has anyone ever written anything with someone else before? Because I've only written stuff with my brother. My brother's not even in the acting industry. He's just very funny. He's the complete opposite of me. So his humour's very dry and cynical and sarcastic, whereas I'm quite, sort of more slapstick and just more obvious. And together we work really well together. He comes up with like the scene by scenes that Fraser was talking about there. He uses that app called OneNote. Check that out. He kind of writes the overall gist of the dialogue, and then he sends it over to me, and then I put that into final draft, a proper script editing piece of software, and I flesh out the dialogue, because obviously, as an actor, you're kind of used to working with scripts. But he holds me accountable as well, because sometimes life can begin to take over, or I can get busy with the website. And like just today, he's like, sending me emails going, here's another 5 pages. You need to ring me now. We need to discuss it. I'm like, shit, right, I've got to do it. So I think sometimes like writing with someone else, I don't know anything else. I've never written on my own, but let me know what you think, if writing on your own works for you, or whether you could do with buddying up with someone else, because it does make it fun when you're like, and what I always find is he'll send me a good idea, and I'll always be able to add to it and sort of flesh it out and make it better. And likewise, I'll send him a good idea, and he'll always be able to add to it and make it better. So together, there's never a situation where we don't get more out of the script when we're soundboarding off each other. So I guess even if you're not writing with somebody, having someone in your life who you trust so you can soundboard ideas off, whether that's your mate or another actor, your mum, whoever, I think, obviously that just works well for me, so I don't know, maybe maybe that worked for you, but do let us know. If I can do it, anyone can, says Mitra, what are you doing? Let us know. And maybe I've missed one of your comments. Let us to tell us what you're doing. Although we were talking, weren't we, on one of the member only get-togethers at some point about what you were doing, weren't you? I can't remember what it was though. Remind us in the comments. And for those people, last little clip I'm going to play from this. This will be like 4 clips or 5 clips I played out tonight, roughly 10 minutes of a 2-hour chat, one of the most inspiring chats you will ever hear. Do go and get your membership if you're an actor and you want to get involved with these things and you want to watch that replay back. But a lot of people, including myself, I fall foul of this sometimes. I take on a lot of work, and your workload can become overwhelming if you're not careful, or you can perceive it as overwhelming. I think that sometimes I put deadlines on myself that don't exist. Don't know if you guys do this. Sometimes I'll get really stressed about something, right? And then I'll just go, wait a minute. Who says it's got to be done by then? I have. Right. I don't have a boss. Oh, right. Okay. It's just me putting pressure on myself again. So you can kind of be kinder to yourself. I think that helps. But also, this is Fraser's little advice for Eloise. You're going to have to tell us if you've done this. I'm sure you have, because I think you sent me a tweet. But this is Fraser's advice on sort of, getting more out of your day. And it's something that he admits that he struggles with as well. I think we all do. We live in such a fast-paced world. I think what technology's done is this is interesting, isn't it? I think what technology has done is it's made us so efficient that we can actually get what would normally have took a day 10 years ago done in a couple of hours, right? Now, rather than having the rest of the day off because we've done what would have took us a day in 2 hours, we continue to work and probably try and cram in like a week's worth of stuff into one day. So technology that was designed to free us up and make us more available and have more time hasn't done that. It's actually just put pressure on us to do even more. Don't know. Interesting. Let me know in the comments what you think. But this is Fraser's advice on dealing with workload.
I I just wondered if you've got any tips about how you juggle everything.
So what it is about realistic internal expectations. Not the expectations that are being thrown at you, because they are, I need it on this day, I need that, even mum's support for the business, I need these things, okay? What you need to do is be cool with your expectations of what you can do. And what that does, it creates like an internal slowing, so that the external things, you can't really change the influx of them. And, you know, that's why I'm not having a conversation with you about, well, maybe do less. Like,
yeah,
that's not the conversation we can have. That's not going to happen. So that will stay the same. But actually how you deal with it internally makes you start to feel like it's more on your own terms. Yeah. Which helps with that drowning feeling, because it's like, that producer wants me, my mum wants me, my rent wants me, my bum. Whereas if you kind of reshape that a little bit, slow that pace internally, then you're like, no, okay, they do want me, but there's a barrier between before it hits you here and hurts. I need you, as of tomorrow, to set your alarm half an hour earlier. What's going to happen is, in the first few days, you're going to be exhausted and you're just going to sit there with your cup of peppermint tea and be like, I don't know why I'm doing this shit, right? The fourth day, that's only going to exist for 10 minutes, and then you're going to have an extra 20 minutes just for you.
Yeah.
And in that time, don't do anything. Don't write it down. Don't do a to-do list. Don't even pick up a book. Just sit your ass down for that 20 minutes. After around about 6-7 days, that time will become productive in a different way. If you try and do it now, you are just going to read a bit of a book, or I'm going to sort out my thoughts for the day. Like, stop it. No, that's why you need the break. In a week or so, what will happen is you'll make that 20 minutes a bit more productive, and it may be a bit of yoga, it may be just like taking a walk. That's what I'm going to ask of you, because if you can try and get that time in just for yourself at the beginning of the day, I promise you it will start to leak into the rest of your day and how that unfolds.
So, Eloise, if you're still here live, are you doing that? Are you still doing it? I know you did it for at least one morning because you sent us a picture in a tweet. So I know you did it. She says, yeah, it's hard, but helps a lot. It's interesting, isn't it? Do you know what? Like, sometimes, because, you know, I go through stages where I've not been able to work out for the last week. I've been waiting to have these stitches out of this mole I had excised. I got the stitches out today. That's done. I can get back in the gym tomorrow. But I had to have a week off the gym. Now, I'd only just got back into it for probably 6 weeks before that, because that was, you know, it was lockdown before that. So you go through these stages where you don't have to get up early because you can't go to the gym, and then the gym opens and I start getting up early again, and it's freaking hard. It's like horrible. Those first few minutes are awful every day, right? But I tell you what, like, in terms of, like, once you get over those first few minutes, and I brush my teeth instantly upon, like, you know, kind of waking up, and I feel more awake then as the minty fresh mouthwash hits your mouth. I feel way better after that, getting up earlier, than I do after that minty fresh mouthwash hits my mouth if I don't get up to like 9:30. So if I get up at like 6:45, you know, the first few minutes are horrible, but the first few minutes are still horrible even if you're getting up later on, because you still don't want to get out of bed. But I just find that, like, I feel so much better overall for the day if I get up and I exercise first thing. And it really is difficult, but it's so worth going through that little bit of pain in the morning to just have a miles better day. It makes a massive, massive, like, difference to my mental health as well, just in terms of feeling good and just feeling motivated to just crack on with the day. Sometimes if I don't go, like I said, I've not been going to the gym, so I've been able to get up at maybe like 8:30 as opposed to 6:45. Just don't, even though I've had longer in bed, I don't feel as alive. I don't feel, you know, nearly as motivated. So it's interesting, isn't it? I think there is something magical about getting up earlier, even if you don't want to, you don't like it, and you convince yourself, like I convinced myself years ago that I wasn't a morning person. I always said that. I'll tell you a story. I actually went to the gym with my mate Terry. I used to always work out in the evening. The one time I went to the gym early in the morning with my mate Terry, he was like, mate, we're gonna go early. We went early. You know, sort of like 6:45, 7 o'clock. I had to, without getting too graphic, I totally overexerted myself like I normally would do in the evening. And I had to go and puke. Like, that's not good. And that off the back of that, I formed a limiting belief that I am not a morning person, so I'll never be able to work out. Not, you've just really overdone it and you should just not do as much tomorrow. So it was years later when I started working out in the morning again, and now I wouldn't ever go back to working out in the evening. It's just so much better doing it first thing. But I'd had this limiting belief in my head that I was a night owl. And that's just actually behavior that I'd just formed myself. I did stay up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning working on this website, and then I wasn't getting up till 10, half 10. And that was just the cycle that I was in when I started forcing myself to get out of bed. How many people here don't have to even I still do, but I wouldn't have to set my alarm, I don't think, a lot of the time. Who still wakes up like with 2 minutes to go before their alarm goes off? And again, that feels like shit sometimes. Where you're like, oh my God, why can't I wake up and it'd be like 4 a.m. and I've still got hours left? But you do just get your body into these rhythms. And I just think you end up having a much better day if you get up. Brendan says he hates the gym, but Brendan, I reckon, so did I, mate. But I reckon if you started to go, you would fall in love with it eventually. But it just, you have to form a habit to be, in order to miss it eventually. I never used to like running. Again, I've not been able to run for a couple of weeks because of these stitches. I used to do a big run. I do a half marathon every single Sunday. I've not been able to do that. And part of you is like, oh, I don't have to. But, I always love having ran. Like, even if I don't enjoy the run, the feeling afterwards is electrifying where you're like, yes, I've done it. I smashed that out. And obviously it's great for your health. So it's something that I think forming positive habits that you don't want to do, but that, you should do. And I feel if you should do something, then you must do it. Turn your shoulds into musts, Brendan. I used to do 6 a.m. boot camps, and it was the best I've ever felt, says Lindsay. Wow. I mean, that's hardcore. When I'm walking on a Monday to the gym, it's not early. It's still quite early. It's probably like, 5 to 7. There's a car park down the bottom of my road, and obviously a local gym trainer has obviously not been able to use his gym or take his people into the gym he used to work at. And for the last sort of like 5-6 weeks, they've been in the bottom of a car park working out with kettlebells. Like, I don't know what time they must get there. They must get there like 6:30 because they look knackered by the time I get there. But they're just knocking around, even in the rain, in the bottom of a car park. I want to say, mate, how much are you charging them for this? It better not be more than £5 because you're making it work in a car park, man. But yeah, they must be doing a 6:30 boot camp as well, Lindsay. It's obviously the way forward. I need to hire Ollie to sort out my LinkedIn. I'm lost as hell, says Chris. You don't, Chris. I don't think Ollie uses LinkedIn. Just look at my profile on LinkedIn and just copy it, mate. As simple as that. Look at my profile, write yourself a little bio like that, add some rich media like YouTube clips or your show reel, etc., that you would link to on YouTube or Vimeo. Write a nice bio, decent picture, banner image, and then just start linking in with any. You can search by a job title, so just link in with directors, producers, script editors, runners, agents, anybody in the industry. You'll just meet fascinating people on there, and then you'll get to see the content they're posting. They'll see your stuff. It can just lead. Ultimately, the more eyes on your work and what you do, the better. That's what's going to lead to opportunity. Sitting at home and not putting yourself out there is never going to lead to opportunity. So post. I went to the gym once at 6 a.m. for a gym session, and it made me that ill I had to go home and go back to bed. Honestly, that's like me. I just said, Terry, mate, I've just got to the toilet, and then it was like, and then I come back and went, mate, I've just been sick. It's game over. But it's just because I just jumped in feet first, just too heavy. First of all, let's just you've got to ease yourself in if you're changing up a routine like that. I think. Brendan says he finds it quite expensive though. It can. You know what? It can be. It can be. I just go to the local council gym. It's not too dear. I think it's about $35 a month. But some gyms, like the David Lloyd gyms, can be like £80. It's a bit out of my price bracket, that. Dale started training with a local football team again. First time in 5 years since I had a knee injury. Glad I forced myself. Feels good to be just getting that exercise and fresh air again whilst forgetting about the world for an hour. Yeah, it's been 2020, just an interesting year, Dale, innit? I reached out to some huge people today to do interviews with them, like massive, the biggest of the big. And one of my selling points was like, look, come on, man, or woman. You've got to come and do this for the Acts on This community. It's been a rough year. Please give us something back. Yes, you might be massive, but you know what? Got to give something back. We've had a tough year, so hopefully, I'm going to see guys, but I've reached out to some absolutely juggernauts today. But we'll wait and see. Hopefully we'll have something, make something happen. So for now, I think I'm not going to play any more Fraser out until the end for those people who missed that mastermind with Fraser Ayres last week. I've got one more clip that I'm going to end on tonight. So what have we got? We've got like 15 minutes. Let's do a little bit of open-ended Q&A, guys. What do you want to talk about, basically? Anything at all you think I could help you with? Anything to do with acting, voiceover, creating your own content, I don't know, the tech, just, anything at all, social media. What do you want to talk about for 15 minutes? And those people on the replay or on the audio experience, come and join us one week and you can get your questions in as well. So let us know. Kiefer's doing a level 3 PT course. Nice one. Well, you can come and train everybody. That's the key, innit? That's the key. Kiefer's going to become a world-class personal trainer / actor and can come and train Brendan for cheap. Brendan, it's game on, man. That's what's going to happen. Definitely. And John really wants to get back into exercise. So positive and helps with energy. Well, John, Kiefer's your go-to PT, I'm afraid. That's what we're all going to have to do. So yeah, let us know if you got any questions. Or indeed, if you are now inspired to write something, you've got an idea. We've got such an amazing community as well. Like, people should be collaborating within the Acts on This community. I see so many. You know what I love to see at the moment? When somebody posts in the Facebook group or in the private community over on actsonthis.tv, like, I'm doing a self-tape this afternoon, I need a reader. And I see like 10 people just going, I'll do it. It's freaking amazing. You lot are just so supportive of each other. That's exactly why I created this community, because like, you just can't do this on your own. Like, I mean, you can, but it's not great, is it? It's not good if you're just doing everything by yourself. My 10-year-old really wants to be an actress. How to get an agent? It's a lot easier to get agents, Rosie, when you're a kid, because you don't have nearly as much expectation on you when you're an adult and you're 18, over 18. You try to get an agent. There's things that are expected of you, like you should be on Spotlight. Maybe they will have expected you to train at a certain place, etc., have a show reel, headshots. When you're a kid, people are like, this industry is so much more open to just complete newbies and unknowns. The best way to get an agent, I think, when you're a kid is really, look around in your local area and see where the best acting schools are, where the best acting classes. And I don't mean a drama school that you've got to send someone to, and pay thousands of pounds. I mean like your weekly acting classes, your screen acting classes that are going to be like 10, 15 quid a session or something like that. And you go every week on a Saturday. What you'll find is a lot of agents, casting directors as well, particularly for the ones that have a good reputation, and that's going to be down to some research. You're going to need to do some research, but they will, often get in touch with those kind of institutions when they're looking for kids. You could maybe get some footage, of your daughter there as well. Doing some scenes that you've then got, you've got the footage of those that you can then send to decent children's agencies that are in your area. I mean, let us know where you are. If you post in the Acts on This TV Facebook group, it's facebook.com/groups/Acts on This TV. I'm sure we can kind of, give you some pointers of some decent kids agencies. There's some great ones up and down the country. I know quite a lot in Manchester. I'm not so well versed in London, but we've got a load of actors in the community based in London who I'm sure will know, some decent agencies for you as well. But yeah, it's a lot easier when you're young to get, to get representation. Bit trickier the older you get. So let's aim at getting an agent as soon as possible, because there's a load of work out there for kids as well. There's like so many great programs as well, being shot, for children. So the work is out there 100%. I have a question about agents. So there you go, Eloise. I just signed with a new one, and my agent there has left suddenly. Not sure why. They are still representing me, but I'm in limbo. Should I change? That's just going to be so what happens sometimes is it depends on the size of the agency, Eloise. So what you'll find, sometimes an agent, will leave an agency temporarily for either health reasons or to have a baby or whatever it is. And then all of their workload will be shared between their assistant and potentially another agent within the agency. But we're talking about the big agencies there. If it was a more local agency, more, sort of like as a 2 or 3 man band kind of setup, then you would need to then I would arrange a Zoom with the people who are left there who are going to be looking after you, because you're going to want them to know you personally so they can push you properly for stuff. And then you have a conversation with them about, like how they're going to handle this extra workload, etc. I would have expected the agent who's left to phone you and actually explain it all. But you're going to need to find out, who is going to be looking after you now. And then you have to get to know them. Whenever my voiceover agency has had an agent leave and a new agent come in, my acting agent has been very stable for many years, never happened. But the voiceover agency that I'm with has had a few changes. When I really know that agent and I'm, insight in mind, I find that I get a lot more work. So I make a big effort when a new person comes in to go out of my way to really solidify my relationship with that person, so they actually really know me. They understand me, my voice, where I fit. I'm not just a voice reel on their computer. I'm a real person. And I solidify that relationship. So ultimately, so that they know, like, and trust me. And then they really can put me forward for stuff knowing, where I fit in the industry effectively. It's really important. Your agent really has to know you. And your agent's assistant and assistants really have to know you. Because it's just like life, innit? When you know, like, and trust people, and they're dependable, and they're good, of course you're just going to feel confident putting them forward for everything. So it is important that you find out who's going to be looking after you and you have that conversation. It doesn't suddenly mean you change straight away. Like, it'd be pointless just going somewhere else without giving them a shot and discussing it with them. But it is an interesting, interesting dynamic. And it happens regular in certain agencies, when particularly this at the moment in the current climate, there's so many agencies that are switching up teams, people are leaving, people are setting up their own agencies, people are letting clients go, all kind of stuff's happening. So you do need to kind of get to the bottom of that in order to make sure that you're still confident in your representation. Nicholas has had a couple of agents approach me after my self-tape for the Do or Die competition. Congrats to those people who are doing that as well. I keep seeing them posted on Twitter. I think Daniel Edwards is judging it this time. Daniel's such a good guy, such a good guy. It's a great opportunity to get on his radar. He's going to be back. He texted me actually to say, when are we going to do a podcast? But in Manchester, the lockdown rules are very difficult, so I can't have anybody around here to record. I might push him to do a Zoom with us, but he likes to do things in person, and plus I want to meet his new dog. But Daniel's a top bloke, so if you're doing the Do or Die competition now, which is a monologue competition for those who don't know, you record a piece of new writing, and then it's judged by a well-known casting director. I think they there's a cash prize, and they raise a bit of money for charity as well. Then check it out. I think it's Do or Die Studios, who are the guys who run it. But well done to everybody who's on that. It went mental after I posted some outtakes, says Nicola. My Twitter email went a little nuts. I think the moral of the story is don't be afraid to be yourself. I loved watching outtakes of show reels and self-tapes. Yeah, it's become quite a thing, hasn't it, in our industry? A lot of people are doing it, but I think it just humanizes everybody, and you just see yourself in everybody's takes, particularly, and I've not done this, but for a long time, but particularly when you see people recording tapes with their mums. It's just brilliant. Their mums or their dads or their siblings, their family, because people like proper go mental. I don't think you'd go as mental with a friend, but when it's somebody's mum, when it's your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister or whatever, you see people like lose it when like they wreck it or they move the camera or they don't get the line right or whatever. It is funny. So yeah, keep posting, Nicola, definitely. What else have we got here? Any other questions? I was approached by an agent too. Then found out they'd approached loads of others. Didn't feel so special then, said Wendy. Wendy, you're very special. Hold out for that special agent though. Let's have a look. What else have we got? It's been... everyone's talking about Do or Die. What else have we got there? Any other questions? Maybe just follow up tomorrow with a polite email asking them if there's an update on the Zoom meeting. You can arrange your diary. I think that's Lindsay's comment about the agent. About Eloise's agent. Any more? Any other questions that I can help anybody with right now? We have got 7 minutes. So they go fast, these, don't they? I love Monday nights though. It's a good one. Oh, and also I posted in the Facebook group today a post that you'll see where I'm just asking for just sort of recommendations from you guys on the guests that you want to see on actsonthis.tv next. I feel over the last decade we've built a really good reputation now that I can leverage to get bigger and bigger and bigger guests each week, and I'm certainly going for it. Like I say, I got in touch with some incredibly massive people today. I don't know what will come with that, but I'm like, why not level up now. I think now is the time to level up. Oh, I'll also warn people as well. And this won't apply to most people on here because you're all members of the site already. So what I always do, whenever you get a membership to actonthis.tv, you lock in that membership and that price literally forever, as long as you keep that membership active. So those people who joined, 5 years ago will be on a slightly better deal than those people who joined this week. That's the way of the world. Prices of stuff goes up. The site ends up costing me more and more. The bigger guests we get, the more that costs, the more technology we've got to invest in, etc., etc. But what I've noticed is, and what I don't want to happen, I've had so many emails from actors who have been in this community like 6 months over, and actonthis.tv has massively changed their career over that 6 months, right? But they've had to have been in the community sort of 6 months, and they've had to, they're taking part in these weekly webinars. They're going out, they're acting on this stuff. Basically, they're getting a real rounded education of the industry week in, week out. They can catch up on the replays if they can't make it live. But I'm seeing the people who are having the biggest impact made in their career are the people who are in the community, 6 months and over. There's some people who've been in literally years and years and years. It's amazing. So what I want to do, because on the flip side, I'm seeing people just join for a month off the back of one guest that they want to see. So I'll bring a guest on that's got a great name for themselves, and someone will sign up literally just for that month to see that guest, and then they quit. And it's a bit frustrating because I'm like, if you just hung around just a few more months, I know I could make such a bigger impact to your career, because you're going to be getting this coaching and this accountability every single week. So what I'm going to do, the monthly pricing, okay, not yet, this will be in about a month's time, but the price of a monthly membership to actonthis.tv will go up in price, right? I don't mind people dropping in for 1 month and then leaving, but there's going to be a price associated with that is greater than there is right now. However, there's going to be 2 more tiers of membership, okay? There'll be a 6-month tier where you get it cheaper than the 1 month, obviously, when you commit to 6 months. And then people will get it even cheaper if they commit to a full year. And this is just like more fun and more beneficial for everybody. If you stick around, we can all make such a way, way bigger impact in your career. So people can still, if they want, sign up for a monthly membership and just pay each month, but they're going to pay more money than people who commit to 6 months or a year, because I just want to have more impact. Now, that isn't going to affect anybody who is already a monthly member, right? You will only ever pay what you are currently paying now. I mean, it's as simple as that. So don't anybody who's an existing member worry, but ultimately, if you do want to get on the monthly membership and you want to pay monthly, if you do that now, you will get it cheaper than you're going to get it in a month's time, okay? But you'll still get it as cheap as you would do now if you sign up for 6 months or 12 months. There's going to be like tiers where you'll get a reduction depending on how long you commit for. But I'm going to be asking ultimately for more commitment for new people who come into the community. You guys who are already here, your memberships will stay exactly the same. Nothing will change. But for new people who are coming in, if you've been on the fence for a while, I will ultimately, for people to be a part of what we're doing, I will be asking for more commitment from people, because it just means that we all, get a way better result from it. So that's just something that I wanted to just sort of give people a little forewarning of. Eloise says, this has helped me so much, and I've been member for a few years now. Boom. Absolutely. Rachel said I joined about a year. Nice one, Rach. It's been a year already. Bloody hell. Crazy, isn't it? How fast time flies. This year's been such a weird one, though, because it feels like lockdown was such a long time ago, and yet equally it feels like we're already in October. Like, holy shit, like where's this gone? Where's this year gone? Let's have a look. People talk about agents charging. Never sign with an agent that asks you for money up front. It's bullshit. Like, they're not real agents. They are not real agents if they ask you for money to join the agency, because they're where's their incentive? Where's their incentive to get you money, get you work and earn money from you in commission if they're already getting money from you? It's not great. How do you know what acting agent companies are genuine? Oh my God. So Rosie, that was based off your question about your daughter. Yeah. Do not ever pay any money to sign with an agency. If an agency says, "Oh, you can, apply to be on our books," no, it's kind of like bullshit. That's just not how it works. You don't just make a application to be on somebody's books, pay £200 for some photographs, and then you're on their books. All right, legitimate agents will only take on actors who they think are commercially viable, who they can actually get work for, because they only earn money when they earn commission. So any legitimate agent will work purely based on commission and nothing else. They won't tell you that you have to go to a certain photographer to get your headshots done, or you have to go to a certain showreel provider to get your showreel done, because obviously they're in cahoots with that person. It's like, oh, come and join our agency. It's just £200, and then you have to have your portfolio done by this particular photographer. It's £450. It's just nonsense. It means that they're earning 600 quid for every single client they sign up. There's no incentive to ever get you any work. So be very, very wary of snake oil salesmen in this industry. And if you've got any questions at all, Rosie, post them in the Facebook group, the Ats on This Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Ats on This TV, and all of these beautiful people on here and myself will give you super legitimate, honest advice for free, so that you don't get stung like that. It's absolute nonsense. Lowry says, I think it's been 2 years. You've been a member for 2 years, Lowry. Me too. I've been on Ats on This since 2017, says Wendy. Boom. It's lockdown was shite, but it brought me to Ats on This, says Nicola. Well, there you go. Every cloud, eh? Definitely. The Ats on This kept me sane in lockdown, though. Had we not been doing these weekly webinars, and at one point we were doing 2 a week, I never would have, I don't know what I'd have done with myself. Yeah, probably that's why it's gone so, so quick. Rachel got stung by a modelling agency. Equity's trying to get her money back. Yeah, don't pay, Rach. Do not pay. Dawn says she thinks she's been with Ats on This 5 years, and I'll still be here in another 5 years. Nice one, Dawn. I hope I am. I'm going to be here another... Oh, I don't know. I don't know when. I think, I can't see myself not running Ats on This. Maybe I've got another 60 years left, basically. On LinkedIn, do you attach your agent on your profile, Kiefer? I mean, you could put who you're represented by, definitely. Just if people are browsing and they want to get in touch, obviously they can in-mail you on LinkedIn. That's like LinkedIn's direct messaging service. They can do that. That's free. You could definitely put represented by. And then link to either your profile on your agent's website. You could put your Spotlight profile link in there. Absolutely, whatever you want. Definitely dress it up how you like, but there's no harm in putting your agent on there at all. That's good. Looking back over lockdown, it's incredible how many opportunities Ross has brought us. Thank you, Alex. It's been an absolute pleasure, mate. I'd have gone crazy myself if I'd not been doing all this. It's coming up to my 1 year anniversary for Ats on This next month, says Steve. Steve, it's going to be a joyous day, mate. We'll have cake, I'm sure. We'll all have a little tipple on Steve's Ats on This anniversary. But no, I just massively appreciate you guys. And like I say, none of your subscriptions will never change as long as you don't, let your card expire. That's out of my control, right? You always keep your card updated on atsonthis.tv in the members area. In the settings tab, keep your card up to date, because billing is not done on the site. It's completely secure. It's out of my hands. I can't affect it. So keep your card up to date. And that's it. Ultimately, stay a member. You'll never pay any more. Whenever there's a price increase, it'll never affect you. But for those people who are on the fence, if you get in now, you will get in cheaper than you will ever be able to get in for. I think the price increase will probably come into effect the first week of November. And like I say, it's just because I know I can make a bigger difference to people's careers if you actually commit. And I'm seeing people pay £45,000 for a drama school degree that's getting them absolutely nothing when they come out. And I'm like, look, if you commit, what is it right now for a year membership? 224 quid? I think it's so cheap. 224 quid. I will give you the equivalent of more than £45,000 worth of information that you would get at a drama school where they teach you nothing about the business of the business. Yes, they're going to teach you how to act. But if you can get into a drama school, you can already act because the audition process is so strict. What they don't give you is the business acumen to actually get work when you leave, and I know that because I've been to one of the best drama schools in the country, and when I left, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I spent 5 years getting everything wrong until I decided to work for a casting director, learn all about it, and set up this website. And that was 2010, so that was 10 years ago when I'd actually graduated in 2005, first 5 years, did it all wrong. So if you're on the fence and you've not got a membership, go and get one now. And you will get it for cheaper than you will ever be able to get it for in the future, ever again. So go do it. Right, I think we're going to love you and leave you. I think we've covered most stuff. Nicola said the boss has caught her at the ladders on a phone, so she's got to go. I love it, Nicola. Excellent. I want to know where you're working, Nicola. Nicola was in the stock room watching us tonight, and now she's been caught. Well, you know what I mean? I think it's well worth being busted, though, Nicola, definitely. Right, going to had 2 replies from casting directors today. Catherine Willis and Seth Mason. Lowry, see what I mean? We're not mucking around, are we? That's what I'm talking about. When you're part of this community and you act on this, you get freaking results. Only 2 of the biggest people in casting in the entire country. Well done. Really, really good. Right, I'm going to play for those people who missed the full chat with Fraser Ayres. If you do want to go and listen to this and also get access to 400 hours worth of content with the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, producers in the country, this actonthis.tv is basically like Netflix for actors. Okay, if you want to literally sit and binge or just watch in your own time interviews, closed door mastermind sessions with the biggest names of the industry. There's the session we did with Catherine Willis. Guy Howe we had on recently, the CEO and founder of WGM Atlantic, an incredible agency. Ray Hendry from Julie Harkin's office, one of the biggest casting directors in the country. Lucy Allen from Daniel Edwards' office, one of the biggest casting directors in the country. James Hooton, what a legend. Sam Dingle off Emmerdale was on recently. BAFTA-nominated Ruth Madeley. Nicola Bolt, an incredible agent with Bryony Polizzi, her associate. Jimmy Akambola, just such an incredible guy. There he is with Idris Elba in the long run. Rachel Sheridan, one of the biggest casting directors in the country. I mean, just so many. There's another 11 pages of features. Get yourself over to actonthis.tv. Like I say, get a membership. And we've got this Thursday night coming up. We have got a mastermind session with... Where's the picture? Okay, it's not a picture of Emma, but we've got Emma Crompton, an incredible casting director. She's worked on some massive, massive shows. You can see things like Line of Duty, Military Wives here. Let me bring up her... this is the next session, so if you get a membership, you better join us on Thursday for this. I'll bring up her IMDb. Are you guys seeing her IMDb? There's Emma. She's currently I think she's in the Lake District right now. I normally would have recorded a little video with her, but she's got no signal in a caravan somewhere in the Lake Districts, I think. She's joining us on Thursday, though. Credits include things like, War of the Worlds, Military Wives, Mother, Father, Son, Vanity Fair, Relic, Beauty and the Beast. That's why I'm not going to be in musical theatre. But Beauty and the Beast. I mean, what a show that was. Not show, what a film that was. Line of Duty. Well, she worked on Arzu. That was a great project years ago. Arzu Red Production Company made that, I think. But she's basically just working on some incredible stuff, and we're going to find out exactly how her office works, what you need to do to get an audition with her, what she's working on right now. Maybe we'll get some inside information on what Emma's up to, what she's going to be up to post-COVID 2021 world, and ultimately how you can get seen by Emma. But this is just a great opportunity for you to make a connection with her. All of these are so good. You get to jump on camera, speak to her one-to-one, and then what an opportunity to then follow up and actually, make a real life connection with a top casting director in the industry. Absolutely priceless. Come and get your membership. To show you how these work, I'm going to finish on playing you a mashup of Fraser Ayres' session that we did last week. If you do want to write your own material and get it commissioned, you've got to go and watch this one. That's on the website in the members area right now. And I'm just going to check the comments just to see if there's anything before I go. Just on a 4-week self-tape course with Emma, says Dawn. No way. She's so encouraging and down to earth. She's great, isn't she? So good. Shelley says, Polly says that Emma is so lovely too. Pauline, so excited. Everybody's all... just all up for it. It's all good. Awesome. Right, well, I'm going to play this little clip of Fraser, and I'll see you guys Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Get your membership if you want to be there, and hit me up in the Facebook group if I can do anything for you before that. All right, until then, massive love to everybody. Check this out. Bye for now. Fresh from writing on Idris Elba's In the Long Run, now exec producing a brand new upcoming ITV comedy panel show called Sorry I Didn't Know. It's the award-winning actor, writer, director, producer, Mr. Fraser Ayres. Fraser, welcome to Acts on This, mate. How are you? Well, let's just start with just telling people what it is. It starts next week, a week today, 6th of October.
Yeah.
Where did the idea come from and what is it?
Okay, so it's just a normal comedy panel show. That's all it is. It's a normal comedy panel show, but it's based on Black history.
What would be the first 3? Let's go like the first 3 basic steps that you should take in order to move a project forward.
So take your idea, write it down, and just poke it and go, okay, who would watch this? Your brain's going to tell you everybody. Don't let it, right?
Yeah.
Ask yourself, what channel is this for? your brain is also going to go, it could be anywhere.
Once I have the pilot, how do I actually get it to BBC or Netflix?
So it's a two-pronged attack. One is about the project itself. One's about your reputation as a creative in the production company, okay?
When it comes to producing that thing, how can I be sure that I'm going to be in to act as the male character, the main character?
I just wondered if you've got any tips about how you juggle everything.
I need you, as of tomorrow, to set your alarm half an hour earlier. Do your best and try and be as realistic as possible about what your best is. Know that your best is probably not Liam Hemsworth's best right now. You haven't had that number of auditions. Your best isn't Idris Elba. You haven't had A, B, and C. Your best is your best. Try and do that. And outside of that, and once you've done your audition with that best, just leave it behind as much as you can. Because this career, it really is a marathon, not a sprint. And the more care you can take with your mental health, and the more safety you can give yourself about how you deal with rejection, how you deal with those times, how to do them, the longer the career you will have and the happier career you will have.